Okay, welcome to part two of my finishing X2 series. Um, just a quick recap, this is going to go on for a long time. I'm trying to finish my X2 game, which I've been playing for, well, about 15 years, probably. Alright, so if you remember from last episode, I was trying to fix the economy in the sectors around Argon Prime. I'm still doing that. I haven't played that much this month. Um, let's have a look at the universe map. Um, if anything, it looks a bit worse because I've got, well, sectors that were green are now yellow. Actually, Roke's Drift and Red Light are occasionally yellow anyway. I've still got a bit of work to do on them. Um, um, these sectors were yellow and they've now turned green, apart from Balaji's Joy and Eleanor's Fortune. I'll talk about those in a minute because both of them have different issues. Well, they have different issues that need sorting out. Um, so, just a quick recap how I was trying to do this. Basically, I'm trying to sort out primary resources and secondary resources. Okay, so if you look at this ammunition factory, okay, um, it has primary resources and secondary resources. In fact, all the um, NPC factories do. Your own factories don't. Um, for some reason. Um, but I think the way it works, from what I remember, um, is that a factory can work with primary resources. Okay, so this factory will make mass driver ammunition um, as long as it has primary resources to do it. If it doesn't have any secondary resources, it doesn't matter. From what I remember um, ages ago when I read this somewhere on the forums, if the factory has got some secondary resources, it will make the master driver ammunition a bit faster. I think it was a third faster or something, I can't remember. Um, so if you want this station to be as efficient as possible, you've got to give it, um, everything it needs. Um, so if you look at this battery, it's looking fine. It's got enough energy cells, it's got plenty of energy cells, it's got plenty of meat steak, and it's got plenty of ore, and it's also now got plenty of palladianium, which you wouldn't have had before because I'm now importing palladianium into Argon Space. That's the other point about my game. It's a bit of a role-playing thing. I decided that, well, in X2 you can buy factories from anywhere and you can build factories anywhere, right? There's no restriction, but that was a bit. So if I'd wanted to get palladianium to this ammunition factory, I could have just built a palladianium factory here, right? Simple as that. But I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it with a bit of role playing. So I'm making trading docks, and what they're going to do is they're going to import goods from the other sectors. So and as you can see, this is all working nicely. Um, the plankton and bogas are coming from boron space. Squiffing fruits are coming from split space. Palladianium is coming from Teladi space, and the stop spices are coming from boron space as well. Um, At least that's mostly true. I break the rules a bit. Um, some factories I built ages ago were break bend those rules a bit. And also I'm kind of letting you do what you want in pirate space. So if we look at Balaji's Joy at the moment, I've turned this into a soyery production facility. Don't tell the Paranid. Um, so yeah, so I've got, as you can see, I've got 16 soyeries in here, and they're all just beavering away to make as much soya as they can, um, which still is not enough because in boron space, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Um, in boron space uses a lot of soya, um, as does Paranid space. The whole galaxy at the moment is really short of soya. So yeah, so I've still got this problem with this trading dock. in boron space. It's getting wheat, it's getting tellurium, and it's getting cloth rimes. Um, but there's not enough soya husk. Um, so I've still got to build some. I've got to build some more, which is what I've been doing quietly this month. So, um, but I'm not really making a dent. If you go to Duke's domain, I've put two soybeans in here, which weren't there before. Um, you can see, you look at the stocks, they've got none. Every bit of soya they make sells, right? Sure, it's the same with the other one. Yeah, exactly. So we need more. So with that in mind, um, task number one um, is I've got um, I've got one mammoth here that brought another soya ring, but if you look at the sector, it's a bit short of energy as well. Um, so I've got another mammoth on the way. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. It's coming with a power station. Um, I do know where it is. It's here because yeah. Um, so I'm going to build a crystal pub here, and then I'm going to build a solar power plant um, in Balaji's Joy. So yeah. Um, right. So I have to go there. So let's. Uh, yeah. So I don't have a clue where. That's the other thing I mentioned last video. That first thing I have to do when I start a game again is remind myself of what on earth I was doing and where on earth I was. So I'm in Emperor Rise at the moment. Because I haven't got a clue where my ride is. Um, I tend to leave ships somewhere. And one of the things the next two is if you've played this game when you have a lot of ships, the only thing you've got is the property menu, which unfortunately isn't searchable. Bit of an issue, guys, when you have 3,000 ships, or actually I've got 6,000 ships, 3,000 factories, 6,000 ships. So finding anything in here is not an option. Um, so okay, there it is. I didn't leave it too far, um, so I can just dock there. So that's yeah. So my flagship is called Extreme Measures. Um, so we'll just dock there. Um, so yes, see the other thing about X2, I don't know what it's like in the other X games, but one of the reasons why it takes so long to build things in X2 is to actually build factories. You have to go to the sector. Okay, you can't do it remotely. So I've got a TL. It's eCell 5. Um, I can't, but the build option is not enabled when you're not in the sector, so you can't do it. So I've got to jump there. So let's have a look. Um, other things you have to do is manage your jump fuel. So yes, Extreme Measures is fueled up, so we're ready to go. Um, I pretty much only fly two ships in this game. Um, the Pegasus that I'm in now, because it's all about speed in this game. If you want it to be fun, um, you just need fast ships. I would have I would have stopped playing this game years ago if it wasn't for the fact that the developers just got the balance just right. Um, this the Pegasus is just super fast. You can just get wherever you want to go really easily. You don't even need to use setup. Um, and the and extreme measures, my Xenon K is the fastest destroyer by quite a long way. Um, and of course, the thing as well that I don't know if you're aware of this, the strafe drive in X2 pretty much doubles your speed if you use it. Um, so that really helps as well because it means that um, um, the Xenon K can do about 600 meters per second, which is more than enough to do what you need to do. Um, okay, so let's go and build that actually. Arnhem's Legend. So it's really easy. Once you're in the sector, you just go to your TL and go to the freight bay. We're building the crystal fab here. Yeah, that's right. And then you just have to put it wherever you want. Um, um, Funny memory from when I started playing this. I had actually no idea for quite a while that you could use the keypad to position your station. Um, yeah, um, yeah, memories. Because what happens? I should have done. What actually happens is if you didn't know that, what you could do, and what I was doing was every time you select build, it puts it in a random place. So I used to just do that, but one day I learned that you could position it with the keypad. Right, okay, so there we go. Yeah, it is nice to have memories of your early game when you've been playing it for, 10, 15 years. Um, okay, okay, the other thing that happens from time to time in my game is I have a few ships that end up flying through hull eating clouds, which is just a hazard of the game, but it's the scripts um, don't deal with this automatically, so I have to now go and tell that ship to repair itself, or that wasn't the right place for the station, isn't it? So I have to repair it um, and send it trading again. Um, um, yeah, that's true for advanced trade ships. The CLS ships do the same, but of course it's just slightly different because different person wrote the script. Um, if I'll show you that if one of my CLS freighters has to dock. Um, all right. So anyway, so we've done that. Okay. So he needs to go to Balaji's joy now, and again, here's the keys, the number pad keys to position. Right. So I don't know what I'm doing while I wait. What I normally do is I just dock somewhere and see if there are any missions. Um, Change ship. Princess Bride. Um, okay, the other thing about my game, because I've been playing for a while, the nice thing about XT is there's loads to do. So I have loads of things that I have to sort of manage manually, so if I go here, I have, um, this is like a trading hub. I buy up all the weapons in the game um, to try and keep the economy flowing as much as possible. Um, I have a sort of, you can't automate this, so it's a little bit, it's quite manual. So I filled that freighter up, and I now have to dock him. The big transfer has to go to the big elephant, which conveniently is right next to it. So I then go to the big elephant. I have to transfer all the cargo manually. Okay. So yes, to transfer all that manually from the trading dock, sorry, the equipment dock to the TL, um, and then I've quite done it yet, have I? Um, so then from the TL, if you look at the TL, I have one ship per wear basically. Um, Except for this is another quirk in the game. All of these can be sold directly to equipment docks. Um, there are a handful of wares that cannot. So what you have to do with those is you have to transfer them to a freighter, um, and what you then do is you have to sell the freighter. So Obviously, I have to fill this freighter up and then I have to sell it. That's the way it works in X2. And you get, again, from memory, you only get half price if you do that. But it's actually the only way to get advanced satellites, fighter drones, laser towers, squash mines, and navigation relay satellites out of the game. Um, Otherwise, they just build up, right? And factories that make advanced satellites will just fill up. Same with the others, right? And same with all of these. If we don't get them out of the game, they just become saturated and the economy stops, right? It's all about weapons production X2. Um, it really is. There are some other goods, but they're really minor compared with the weapons. It's a galaxy at war. Um, okay, so yeah, so I do the same with and then what I do is with each wear, I'll transfer these across manually. I don't do this every time because it's too tedious. Um, Name of these. Uh, yeah, I normally just do the ones that are big and will fill up cargo base quickly, like the mobile drilling system. Um, but yeah. Um, okay, so yeah. So that's what I do. Once these freighters are filled, I send them off to sell the goods. Right, so that's that. So I have to do that every so often because the other thing, what I didn't show you is that um, the point is that I have 4 weapon collectors that will go and buy these goods. UTs will also sell to the station. So I have a fleet of UTs. Another tip um, is to home base UTs to a TL or anywhere actually. Just home base them because sometimes they stop trading. And as I just mentioned, you can't find chips. There's no search function in the properties page. So if a UT stops trading, you might just forget where it was. You get a message, but then you've then got to look through your message logs, and it's a nightmare. So much easier if you do it this way. And all I have to do is I scroll through and see if any of them have stopped trading, which they haven't. They're all busy, as you can see. Yeah, standby is still busy. It just hasn't figured out what to sell. There you go. Yeah, so that's my fleet of UTs. Quite a lot of them. Don't have a clue whether I've got too many or don't have enough. It's not easy to figure out. Yeah, I've got some sector traders as well. Sometimes it seems to help with the balance. Right, so that's that. While I've been talking, he's going to Balaji's Joy. So yeah. So what else do I have to do? Yeah, I was looking for missions, wasn't I? Yeah. I'm also buying lottery tickets. Always buy lottery tickets. In real life, I've stopped buying lottery tickets, but in this game, I'll keep buying them. Um, okay. I always do these because they're very good money. Um, um, okay, that's weird. Okay. Yeah. So another nice thing about the game is these are quite varied depending on which race spawns. Um, the easiest are probably the Argon and Boron. Paradin ones are a bit harder. Split ones are a bit harder again, and the Tuladi are annoying because their ships have massive shielding, so it's quite hard to kill them. Um, it's also no good if your destroyers are nowhere near. So Chemistry and Susie are miles away. Where's he going? Okay, that's all right. Okay, They're dead when they get to Rock's Fate because there's 3 destroyers waiting for them. So I might just leave that for a while. It is a risk because with this game, out of sector combat um, is deadlier than in sector combat. So I might lose one of my ships if I do that. Normally, when I do assassination missions, I watch them. Okay, all right, I'll stop talking and just play anyway. So we've got this factory to build here, right? Yeah. So what you may have just realised is my destroyers aren't actually attacking, and that's because I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with pirates in this game. Um, the pirates are next to are annoying. Um, they're just annoying because on the one hand they're quite happy to trade with you, which is great. And on the other hand they blow your ships up. So yeah. So and it complicates matters because you can't tell it to treat pirates as friends and other red ships as enemies, or at least not easily. Not not completely. Don't master dealing with the pirates. It doesn't work. Just doesn't work properly. Not really sure. I suppose if I make no, it doesn't work properly. You can't make it work the way you want. You can't get a relationship with the pirates in this game that is sensible. But I'm trying at the moment. One thing I'm trying because there's a pirate base here, um, and um, and I'm trying to get them to buy space fuel from me, which is hit and miss as well. Um, not selling, right, at the moment, so that's not working. Not working anyway. Yeah, so this Odysseus is going to die shortly. Very easy once you've got 3 destroyers against 1. The only problem again with this is okay. So the problem now is I've got these stray M6s. So whenever you do a assassination mission, this is true at all levels. If you blow up the target, the escorts will turn nasty and start blowing up your ships, which is exactly what they're going to do. Well, I've just lost a ship. Um, okay, I tend not to care if they're just the small ships. A Scorpion and a Buzzard. That's kind of okay. I'm not too bothered. Um, except that I need to buy some more Mambas. Um, Right, so presumably this isn't great. Got one that's still flying, um, getting away. How many ships did I lose in the end? Okay, just okay. Okay, come on. I know what's happening here. Like I said, this is annoying. Now I've got Susie who's decided to attack the pirate ship instead. Um, yeah, presumably, yeah, chemistry's doing the right thing. Come on. I mean, I can leave this. It's not like the Nemesis can do any harm. Right, should be back to normal. Cardinal's domain. Sometimes my factories run out of money. That's not good either. Um, right, so what was that? That one. Okay. Uh, right, so that was, what was it, BS3 in Barron Shores? Barron Shores is my, well, a very old, it was my first energy production facility. So you can probably, and it took quite a long, I can't actually remember how long this took to build. In fact, I don't even know where all the energy goes. I've got an idea. I think, yeah, I think I know where some of it goes. But anyway, this is my first big facility. So um, it's so Barron Shores is just full of silicon asteroids, or it was. So now it's got trading stations with the silicon and energy, and it's got a whole bunch of power stations and the support structures for all of that. So um, and yeah, so the BS3 that was running out of money, yeah, it's running out of money. Um, don't know why. Don't know exactly why it runs out of money because I've probably set the CLS up wrong. Um, one of them things. Whoops, I'll do that. Um, I've probably got it. I've probably got CLS just collecting the silicon for nothing, which is kind of okay. It doesn't really matter. I normally can put enough money in these stations that this happens once every blue moon. Um, right, we got another message. Okay, right. Can we do that? No. Okay. Yeah, so obviously I've got to set those two factories up, so that's the next job. Um, and then I had something else on the go. Was it here? Yes. Why is E cell 2 here? I think I was just trying to help out. You don't need to bother. Aha, that one's out. Um, yeah, again, those of you wondering, the green and the yellow. If a factory is completely in stock, it will show as green, and when you open it up, um, it will stay green. There's an important distinction. That factory was green to start with because um, good question actually. There's a game mechanic where it doesn't change them to yellow immediately. Um, what tends to happen is if it's still making a product, it won't go yellow automatically. Um, if you when it's short of resources, right? So as long as it's making a product, it will stay green on the galaxy map, right? Um, if, however, you look at a station and it's actually short of resources, then it will turn yellow. So what happened there was, when I went into the sector, that Kahuna bakery was still making product, um, but then when I opened it up, you could see that it didn't have enough to make any more, right? That makes sense. Um, so yeah, so um, yeah, so anyway, I can't really help it because yeah, just isn't quite enough cattle to make into burgers. Um, I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Ah, that's probably why ECell2 is here, or one of the reasons why it's here. The the UI, the AI traders are not that brilliant. Um, yeah, so, so yeah. Was that another message? So yeah, so sometimes I just try and support the economy a bit by manually um, selling things. Um, uh, yes, specifically energy, because energy is just the biggest problem the next two. And that should help the supply of cattle because as as you saw that cattle ranch was out of energy. Got plenty of plankton and scruffing fruits, just short of energy. Um, yeah, so my power plant. Um, what you can do if you're trying to balance this, um, look at the price of the NPC factories. Um, yeah, so that's not too bad. Not too bad. It means that sector's kind of okay with energy. I'd say anything less, if it's costing more than about 19 credits, the sector needs more energy. Um, Less than 19 credits and it's fine. So that's about right. That sector, it's all right. It means you get the odd shortage, like we just had. Maybe the ore mine's a bit out as well. No, the ore mine's all right. About the just have to go through, just have to go through the factories and see if they're short or not. Um, but yeah, that's okay now. Right. So I was doing that. So I send him back to um, his home base. I have five sort of working TLs. They're just workhorse TLs that do various jobs, and they all live in Red Light, which is another power production facility. A bit different than Baron Shaw's. It's a bit more randomly put together. Um, yeah, so that's all functioning nicely. Um, was yellow before, wasn't it? Yeah, like I say, it's the intermittent shortages of silicon. I'm still struggling a little bit to get enough silicon. Some factories have loads, and let's see if we can find one that hasn't got loads. Yeah, so I've got one factory with 208 silicon, and I've got another with 19. So yeah, it's not perfect. What happens if you have a real economy and real ships flying from place to place? Yeah, so that's can't really do anything else for that. I don't have anywhere that has a huge stock of cattle. Um, there might be there might be some here, but no, most of these are yeah. So I just have to live with it until it fixes itself. Um, right, let's get these factories set up. Yeah, the reason I was building crystal fab here is because I'm a little bit short of crystals here too, just a tiny bit. Uh, okay, it's not LFL2, it's FL4. Um, um, you kind of just guess these prices. I don't. There's no rhyme or reason to it really. It's just what you feel, and what I tend to do almost every time is I set one up and I copy. So I make sure that all the factories are basically working under exactly the same conditions. Um, so um, what was that right? 80. Yeah, it just keeps it a nice even playing field, I guess. Um, shame you can't do this automatically. One sector to get silicon, basically. Um, of course, I need chips. I bet you. Yeah. 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 I find that you need a Cayman and a Mamba for a crystal fab. Um, Mambas haven't arrived yet, have they? Um, are they nearly there? Yes. All right. So we'll just leave that a minute. Um, so I can show you one of the other things I'm doing, which is okay. So there's two enemies in X2. There's the CAC and the Xenon. Um, the CAC are not really a threat. They spawn um, M3 clusters everywhere, and I have in every sector I have two destroyers on patrol. So you look at this one, Scorpion and Victory. We'll just deal with them. They're zero. They're almost zero threat. Um, so that's not a problem. The Xenon, however, are much more interesting. Um, so the game mechanic in this in X2 is that there's about 6 or 7 Xenon sectors. So if we look at these two, um, and the way they work um, is that they have a station, which if you blow it up, it respawns, right? Which is fine, and it doesn't do anything. Um, as you can see, this one, I have two destroyers on patrol, but I have that in every sector. They're there to deal with the CAC, nothing else really. And they don't on patrol. They don't attack stations, and if you don't attack that station, they'll do nothing. Um, if you do attack it, it will just launch a few fighters, so irrelevant. Um, Now, in a well, not in a normal game, in a game that's hasn't been played for 15 years, you'd have Xenon ships in this sector. You'd have capital ships, so there might be a J and a K, right? As you can see, I don't have any in here, and I don't have any in there either. In fact, I don't have any anywhere because in X2, all of the Xenon capital ships come from Xenon Sector 472, and the game mechanic um, is a little bit strange. What happens is Xenon Sector 470 is the only Xenon sector with a shipyard, and that shipyard respawns. If you destroy it, it will respawn, and it's a random amount of time later. It's something like 8 hours. I don't know exactly how long it is. Right, you blow it up, and about eight game hours later, it will come back, and it's random. So you have to keep an eye on it. And to do that, what I have is my biggest war fleet, which is I have 150 Xenon Ks that I've captured. The whole purpose of which is to lock this place down. Um, um, it's a bit mad, I know. Um, so I'll just tell you how this works. I've got three named destroyers at the top, characters from the Evil Dead, if you know that show. Um, and they're just there because the patrol ships won't attack stations. So when the shipyard does respawn, I need somebody to blow up the station. So that's what they're for. So if a Xenon station spawns, or the shipyard spawns, I dispatch them to blow it up. The rest of them are intended to basically deal with the Xenon shipyard when it respawns. So what happens then is the Xenon shipyard respawns, and a short time later, all of the Xenon capital ships, okay, that are going to be in the game spawn, right? So you literally get 20 Xenon Ks and 20 Xenon Js spawning, right? Which is why I need all these ships to deal with them, because they all spawn at once and they will cause chaos if you don't destroy them. Um, which is what I've been doing for the past 10 years, building up my fleet of ships to deal with this. And it works. Now it's finished. This sector is finished. I have um, so so my original plan, I had original plan was just to blockade the gates, right? There's an east gate and a south gate, right? And what I originally did was I put all my ships at the east gate, and well, half my ships at the east gate, half the south gate. Thought that'll do it. Didn't work. Didn't work because for whatever reason, um, when the Xenon shipyard reappears, the J's spawn before the K's, which means that the patrol ships target the J's, and the J's are no threat. If you, the J Xenon J is the Xenon carrier, it's no threat to anybody. Xenon K's are the destroyers, and they make mincemeat out of everything, which is why I captured a load of them and used them as my warships. So blockading the gates didn't work because the the Xenon Ks that spawned would attack my Xenon Ks and destroy them, and my Xenon Ks wouldn't fight back because they were going after the Js. So I had to have another plan, which was at the end of the day, just to surround the Xenon shipyard. Right, it always spawns in the same place, so I put a whole group of Xenon Ks around it. So um, there's basically, I think there's 40, there's about 40 ships on each branch, um, and when that shipyard respawns, um, well, we might get to see it. Um, um, because I have to watch this. As I said before, if you leave things out of sector, um, you can lose ships, um, and you don't want to lose ships because They take a heck of a lot of time to equip and capture and equip and pay for and all the rest of it. Um, so I do have to check this page every so often, um, because because this is the only way you really know. Um, because you don't get a message next to when a ship is destroyed. It doesn't tell you that. If you're lucky, you get a one of your ships is under attack message, but you don't even get those regularly. It's one of the things that they missed out. I don't know if they fixed it in later X games, but not telling you when one of your ships has been destroyed is really annoying. So I checked the stats page just to make sure I haven't lost one without knowing. So the key numbers, the only ships I care about is I used to care about my dragons. I've got 601 dragons and I've got 602 Xenon Ks. So as long as this stats page says 601 dragons and 602 Ks, I don't care, right? Don't care. Um, that's what I'm looking for. Um, it was 601 Xenon Ks, but I actually lost one. So to remind myself not to lose lose it again, I built another one. So yeah, so I actually lost one once, which only once, but it really annoying. Right. So while I've been talking, um, I think my members in Ocean of Fantasy will have arrived. They have. The other thing that's nice about this game is you've always got to remember what you're doing, which is great. You've got so many things on the go at once. Because just a while ago, where was it? We lost a couple of ships, didn't we? In Atrius Cloud, but they were from, was it the Silicon Mines? Um, okay, so let's deal with that quickly. Yeah, so which factory was it? If we scroll down, um, there you go. Sorry, MF1. Sorry, MF1. Um, MF1. Okay, yeah, that's my Fantasy. There we go. Ah, didn't buy the equipment. Um, yeah, okay, that'll do. Should have checked actually. Um, just check what ships that has. That's got far too many ships. Why have I got a Suri that has a split Cayman, two split Mamba, split Scorpion, and a Lily Harrier? No idea. But that's far too many ships for a Suri, which means it, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it tells you when I built it. Um, it doesn't. Ships have a flying time. Stations don't. But be, because it's got so many ships that it shouldn't have. I probably built that ages ago. Okay, now there's no way to actually get a how old is this ship? You can tell all your ship is because of course your personal information tells you how long you've been flying, which is 121 days, 17 hours, and 2 minutes, um, which is 15 years worth of playing this game on and off. I don't play it that much. Play other games. Sometimes have work to do. Right. Uh, so that's that done. Um, like I said, I need to check this sector quite often because when the shipyard spawns, I want to watch this battle, right? Because if I watch this battle, right, the whole point is if I watch this battle, the chance of me losing a ship is less than if I don't watch it, right? So you need to watch them. Same with the assassinations, like showing you, it's like you need to watch them. Um, on rare occasions, I need to do things like I had to do here. I had to um, tell these ships to attack because they weren't attacking, and then I had to put them back in be nice to pirates mode. Um, um, it's actually not worth being nice to pirates in this game because you see at the moment they're not actually doing their job. They're not buying my space fuel, right? And not only are they not buying the space fuel, every so often these guys will decide to attack some of my ships. Anyway, right, right, okay, so that's that. So I was trying to set these factories up, wasn't I? Right, so it's got a cam, it's got a member, it's got the right money, and yeah, so I just have to wait for that to get going. This one wanted setting up, didn't it? Um, J2. Oh, hang on, PJ3. Actually, it's not BJ3. I need 5 power stations. So yeah, so a power plant and X2 probably power about 10 other stations. It's not that obvious. Um, and of course, um, you've got AI traders that are coming from other sectors as well. Although there's not many coming here for some reason. Um, yeah, but anyway, I've found that I need another station, so I've literally got 5 stations here. Um, what's the price? 1864. Okay. Crystals are kind of a low volume um, commodity. So I tend to use scorpions for that's kind of the way I'm doing things. Scorpions for low volume goods like crystals and members, probably for everything else because primarily they need to buy energy cells, which are um, you a station produces 200 energy cells at a time, and the cargo bay of a member is 200, so it's about right. Um, yeah, so whereas you're buying about probably 16 to 32 crystals at a time anyway. You're not going to travel um, get many more than that. Um, but you do need 2 of them per power plant, really. Job done. Um, but yeah, I'll just have to wait now for that to stabilize. Um, yeah, I mean, tricky. Um, sometimes sectors don't stabilize at all, and you just end. Although sometimes I don't give enough ships. You, you know, you kind of need 1.5 members for this job, so I can give him another one. Um, yeah, so now it's got 2, so that station hopefully will do a bit better in future. Um, right, okay, okay, still quiet. You literally don't know when it will respawn. It feels like about 8 game hours. Um, maybe I'm not. It's it just seems completely random, and um, you just get a feel for it. After a while, I kind of know that I should be checking. Um, yeah, um, you can do that because the shipyard respawns first, and it's a minute or two later that the ships appear. So, what I'm checking for basically is to see if the shipyard's there. Um, and ideally, I catch that before it's launched any of its Ks. Um, all right. Okay, some more easy money. Oh, say easy. Do you see which type of ship that was? Yep, it's one of them. And of course, it's in the same sector where it can be annoying this game sometimes. So what I'm going to do, since it's going all the way to power circle, I'm going to ignore it. But it's not easy. Sometimes this game can be fiddly. Um, so what I want to do, I want to ignore it now. Right, I'm going to ignore that destroyer. Right, these guys are not going to attack it. But what I don't want to do, oh hang on, I'm gonna. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. He's going to fly to the hole, isn't he? Yeah, he's going west of the hole. All right, not as bad as I thought. So, okay, good. You know, how best to do this? I might have to do something which I don't do so much in my game. Because if you want something doing, you go and do it yourself. Because that whole corridor from um, Atreus Clouds through the whole to Antigua Memorial is pirate safe. These are all these ships are on patrol and won't attack anything. Um, what, so um, if I want if I want that if I want those guys killing, I'm gonna have to do it myself, which shouldn't be too hard. Right. So yeah. So you'll see why I fly Xenon K with straight drive. Again, straight drive is completely game balance breaking, really. These battles would be much harder without it, but also they'd be wouldn't be anything like as much fun. So talking of not fun, when you fly through a gate, always check if there's any NPC ships because um, they don't get out of the way. So you have a choice here. I tend to go for the M2 first, particularly for the Taladi ones because I don't care about the Ospreys. Um, 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 so straight fire is great, doubles your speed, and it allows you to dodge bullets. So he's not going to last very long at all. And so the trick with Ospreys is they're flying bricks, um, um, but they take a while to destroy. So if you can get 2 turrets on them, or try to get 2 turrets on them, that will speed it up a bit. Famous last words. Ospreys are no threat, and yet I'm going to lose a scorpion, aren't I? Didn't intend to do that. One thing I do with my capital ships is I always stop junk like video enhancement goggles, which you don't need, right? But I have video enhancement goggles on my destroyer for a very good reason, and that was it. Because what I don't want is I don't want to lose a gamma PPC or a shield, or anything that's actually important. Generally colliding with ships isn't a good idea. Um, um, it's quite well modelled. Your turrets actually take a while to adapt if you bump a ship, because I guess to the game engine, that ship just changes, just jumps position. Was that all of them? Sure, I missed one. Anyway, I lost the ship, so that's about as bad as it can get. Three scorpions. Seriously. Right. None of this matters because you get paid. I get paid 33 million credits for that, which is probably about 100 scorpions. Anyway, and I haven't got any either. Uh, which power plant was it? One or two? Two? One? Did I guess right? Yes. How's it actually doing that station? Do I really need three scorpions? Let's see if it'll get by with two. I'm also building. I've built another crystal fab, so probably doesn't need three scorpions anymore. If it ever did. Right, who's that message? Oh yeah, so I'm doing this all the time. Um, I wish there was a way to tell them to avoid hull eating nebulas, but there isn't. Um, yeah, it might also be good to have a way to tell them not to fight enemy capital ships because they were all killed by, well, killed by the Ospreys, but they really shouldn't do that. I mean, you can stop them, you just don't give them fight command software, but I like to role play that these are realistic ships. Um, they should have all the equipment. They just should be a bit more sensible about who they shoot at. Right, so let's get out of here. Um, I have hangouts when I'm playing. When I'm actually playing the ship, I have a few hangout sectors. Um, yeah, so I tend to go for sectors like this one. I'm not building very much in it, and this particular sector is quite good because um, two reasons. One, you seem to get quite a few assassination missions in the sector, which are nice, easy money. And two, the game has there's some method in the spawn location for targets, um, and if you take assassination missions in 3 worlds, they almost always spawn in Kingdom End, right? Almost always, which is why I have 4 destroyers in Kingdom End. I normally have 2 destroyers in each sector, but I have 4 in Kingdom End because I like to do assassination missions in 3 worlds. Um, so yeah, we might get to see that if you're lucky. Um, but yeah, it's just easy money and easy assassination missions because with 4 destroyers, that it's over very quickly. Um, um, yeah, right. So yeah, so I'm a bit short of silicon still. I'm building more silicon mines, so I'm hoping that'll fix itself eventually. Um, let's see. Uh, don't do these anymore. Um, yeah, so this is how you capture xenon caves, right? If you do a xenon taxi mission, which is what this is, um, this it'll spawn a whole bunch of L's and about 4 xenon caves. It's random. You get between one and something like between 1 and 8 xenon caves that spawn, and you can capture them. Um, but I don't need any more, and um, yeah, um, good money. But it's quite hard to capture them because um, it's random, and so each ship has a bail chance, and it's quite low. It's about 10%. Um, so when you're attacking it, you knock the shields down and you start knocking the hull down, and you've got a 10% chance maybe that it'll bail out. So um, yeah, so what I tend to do is I just try to capture one, reload, and if I don't manage it, I reload and I try again. So it's a bit tedious, but it's the quickest way to do it. Taxi missions, on the other hand, um, are also really easy money, so I always do those. Is it the cattle ranch? It's the other thing that's missing in XP. You could really do with a active missions screen, um, just to tell you what missions you're currently doing or have accepted, because as you can see, otherwise you just have to go back to the message log every time to remind yourself, and some of them you might have started ages ago. Um, Certainly the get me some energy cells or get me some. Well, I can't find one of those. I haven't done one for a while. Get me some energy cells, get me some meat steak kahunas, get me some palladianium. They might take you a while to actually do, um, and you can forget about them. And if you do forget about them, too late. Too late. You get a nasty message if you forget. You get a nasty message saying something like, I'll never trust you with a mission ever again. You know. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So this, like I said, I do this round robin. So I'll look at the xenon sector every so often. I'll go here and check what I need to transfer across. Um, I have a couple of other things I check from time to time. Um, Baron shows is annoying now. It used to be in my game that it was perfectly balanced and beautiful. Um, Now, for some reason, it gets short of silicon. This is crazy because this is like the most silicon in the universe, right? That's why I built here. Um, and it's now short of silicon, but it kind of isn't. It never used to be. Um, it never used to be short of silicon, and I need to somehow fix this because every so often now my crystal fabs run out, and there's no reason for them to run out, at least as far as I can tell. Anyway, so I have to check this every so often now. It's annoying. Um, so the whole point of finishing X2, right, is to get the economy working everywhere. It's going to take ages. I don't know if any of you have actually done this. Just maybe played X2 to fix the economy and nothing else. Um, I mean, just to get everything um, working properly is, yeah. Um, like I say, primary and secondary resources. So I'd hoped I would have got this done. Got this done with enough soya husk. Oh, that's what I forgot, didn't I? Um, yeah. I knew I'd forgotten something. Um, um, right, so there was no assassination. Right. Um, yeah, so I was actually supposed to be building another soya. Where were we docked? Right. Yeah, so right, having put the power plant down, I was going to build another soya as well. Let's do that and then I'll stop. Yeah, so the plan is to get these sectors around Argon Prime, basically from Kingdom End um, down to here to Brennan's try and sort it out. Um, and then I will move on to the rest of the galaxy. I have made a start down here. Did a bit of work in Ministry of Finance. Um, Not quite, it's not there yet. Um, so yeah. One thing that's funny is it's funny because it's a really old game, but it still takes quite a while to load and save the game. Obviously, everything else has no performance issues at all on a modern computer. Um, I have no idea how many frames per second I'm getting, but I'm sure it's in the hundreds. But yeah, loading and saving is still slower than you'd expect. I don't know what the game has to do, but it's about 15 seconds to load and save the game. Uh, Sometimes do these. Um, these pay well, and if I only have to transfer one unit, I can do it in the Pegasus. So what's that? 5 million credit. These are really hard to read, right? Um, you need to extract the number of units to transfer, the size of the ship that they want for the job. Um, it's an M5, right? It'll say that somewhere. And then you need to kind of look at how much they'll pay you because some of them just aren't worth doing. It's like you think, no, not enough. And then you need to look at the destination. It's like some sectors I don't want to fly to because yeah, I just don't want to fly there. For basically, if I've got loads of factories in a sector and loads of ships flying around, I don't want to go there. But we can do that one. And that one's in the other direction. So no. We're not doing those. I might do one of those at some point just to show you how it's done. Or, but yeah, they're actually the most dangerous missions to play. I end up reloading quite a lot, not just to cap the ships, but because I mess it up in some way. Um, the last thing you want to do really is unleash 8 Xenon Ks into your trade empire. It's not a good idea. Right, anyway, so we're going to Antigone Memorial. Was it solar power plant? Yeah. Check this place again. Calm and happy. So I have a few other things going on. While I was building that fleet of Xenon Ks, um, I have I have weapons production facilities. This is kind of my weapon production space in Split and Boron. So I have a TL here that basically I have CLS ships delivering weapons to this thing, which are no longer needed. So they will become money at some point. So yeah, so this TL is collecting gamma photon pulse cannons, beta photon pulse cannons, shields, and gamma heps. Um, so okay, um, yeah, like I said, I have 5 cells. Um, um, like the first one was called cell one, and it was primarily for cells. Um, and then I just kind of lost my imagination for the naming. Cell 2 was actually meant to deliver crystals originally. Cell 3 was meant for delivering silicon, and I've lost it. I don't know where Cell 3 is. Um, Cell 4 has a completely different job, um, which I'll get round to showing you at some point as well. And Cell 5 is probably needs a new job because Cell 5 um, was meant to be delivering um, energy, not energy and ships to one of my other weapons facilities. But that's finished now, so actually it's 99% finished. I might have a bit more to do. I've lost it as well. Where did it go? Right, it was in Farnham's Legend, right? And then didn't I send it back to Argon Prime? I thought I sent it back to Argon Prime. Like I say, this whole not being able to track your ships is a bit of a pain. I'm always worried about losing them. Because like I say, it does not tell you when a ship gets destroyed. You literally, if you think I've lost one, you literally have to scroll through your message log. Um, and then if you find it, you then have to decide, oh, okay, it wasn't important enough, doesn't matter. Or, right, you decide, oh, I'm going to have to reload. I'm going to have to lose, I don't know, however much game time. Um, um, and like I said, I lost one of the Xenon Ks I lost. I didn't notice until I'd been playing about another 3 hours. So it was like, well, I'm not reloading 3 hours of work. I'll just have to bite the bullet and build another one. Okay, so that's done. Um, okay, I want to go to the hole. Yeah, probably. Which one? Gamma. Right, so I'm not. There's not going to be much more I can show you on this one because I just have to wait for these. I mean, I can try and manually fill these. I have certain sectors that have a huge excess of silicon, so I can go and get some. Um, Same with crystals. I can go and get some crystals and put some crystals in here and get it going. But I kind of might as well wait for the not in that much of a rush, right? Um, but yeah, it's a problem. I can't make enough soya at the moment. Um, so it's going to take me another few hours to make enough soya. Um, so that's where we're going to leave it. I think what I have to do is I have to remember when I play this again that I've still got a mammoth in Balaji's Joy that needs to buy a soya ring. If I was organized, I'd write this down. But I don't play this particularly in a particularly well organized way. Um, in fact, it's one of the things that actually I didn't get around to showing you today. Eleanor's Fortune um, is a funny sector because right, there's two ways that you can make stations. Well, three actually. Three ways that you can make factories work in X2. So if you look at the ships, this one owns right. This one doesn't own any ships. Right, this factory doesn't own any ships except for one CLS transport. So you can use CLS transporters, right? So um, so this factory only owns a ship to do deliveries of the Kahuna burgers, right? Kahuna steaks, um, right? Um, um, and it's got all some of the other factories will be well the same. The cattle ranch um, has got CLS one, so you can do it with CLS freight. But the other way, way number two is you can use this one. I think you can use the advanced traders instead. So they buy and sell rather than they buy and sell to anybody, right? Unlike the CLS ones, which are specific destinations. Um, and and the other way, which I don't use, I use in one place in my galaxy, is that you actually just use um, the standard trade commands, which didn't come in the bonus pack. So, sorry, it was in Helen's Fortune. So if we take one of these ships, so this is currently running. It's right. So these are your options, right? You've got buy for best price, which is the built-in trade command, um, which basically sends that ship off looking um, to basically go to the station with the best price and then return it and repeat. Um, and Sellware for best price does the opposite. It sells the goods for. Um, you never use Buyware and Sellware. They're one off um, um, buy and sell. Yeah, so they never get used. So the advanced trade command is basically the same as Buyware and Sellware, right? With a bit more intelligence as well. So this will either buy or sell. It will buy resources and it will sell goods, depending on what it thinks is the best thing to do. Um, so it's a bit. It's your standard trade command basically that you use. Um, um, so that's that. I mean, so you have to buy that, right? in this game. So your ships come. I don't want to turn this into a how this game works. But basically, these are built-in commands. These you buy. These you buy from a station. So that's why. Um, if you're wondering why I keep going to Oceans of Fantasy and why I send all of my ships to Oceans of Fantasy is because it's a Boron equipment shop and it's the only place that you can buy. It's the only place you can buy the advanced trade software from. Boron equipment docs, right? Um, so that's why they're all sent there to buy advanced trade command software. Um, but yeah, but the thing about Elements and Forges is I've made a bit of a mess of it. I've got some of the stations using CLS, and I've got other stations using advanced trade commands. That's a bit of a mess. It's not. It's yeah. Um, yeah. It's not working very well. Some of the factories are getting. So if you look, that's this. The irony of this sector is I've got how many? Three, six, 8 stations making kahuna bakeries, and my crystal fabs don't have enough kahuna bakeries. They don't have enough kahuna steaks. So, that's just wrong. So I'll have to fix that. Right, anyway. Um, yeah. So I'll do that next time. Fix Eleanor's fortune. Build another Sawyery in Balaji's Joy. Um, buy some more lottery tickets, of course. Um, and hopefully I can get this done, right? So that we've got enough Sawyer flowing into boron space. Um, um, Yeah, because the funny thing about boron space is it needs a lot of soil because all the bothy plants need it. Um, yeah, so um, yeah, and there's a lot of those. It's the main food. It's the main food source of the boron. So I don't think that's the same in all the other sectors. I'm not. If you look at Kuna bakeries here, what do they need? No, they don't need two. It's not. The game isn't entirely symmetrical. So, so that needs one secondary resource, and it has to get two primary ones. So just to be different, sorry, three primary ones, three primary and one secondary, right? But all the primaries can be got from Argon space, whereas the one in boron space, the Bofu plant, um, is two primary and two secondary. Um, yeah, so so it's a bit different. Um, anyway, the point is we need a lot of soya. There just isn't. These things are not getting enough soya. Okay, they're not doing too bad. But let's have a look in rock strip. Um, yeah, zero, zero, 8, 42. Yeah, so it's going to be the same story here. The soya is going to be out, right? So that's what I'm trying to fix, right? Plankton is boron. Um, So there's no shortage of plankton. It's just the soya that we need to get going. Okay, right. One quick look here again. Okay, still no xenon. Okay, so I'm waiting for those. That's yellow again. Of course, yeah, the different one, wasn't it? That one. That's green now. Fine. Okay, let's stop. Um, um, Stopping is difficult as well when you're playing this game. Like I said, I've always got things on the go, so um, um, Yeah, so I've always got something going there. There's always something else to pick up. Um, um, but yeah, hopefully by next time, Sawyer will have been sorted, right? So what I'll have Argon space here, all working. So Argon's working, right? All the secondary goods, plenty of supply, no problems. It's all working. Taladi space is actually working as well. The Taladi, I haven't mentioned it in this video, but Taladi space is good. They don't need as much. They only need bowgas and stock spices. Um, Literally, the Taladi only need a couple of boron goods, and cloth rhymes isn't really needed for. Um, Cloth rhymes is only needed for weapons production, so it's you don't need very much because there's literally one weapons factory um, that uses it in Taladi space, and it's that one. So, and it's short of energy as well, so potentially need some more energy in this sector. Um, or their traders are just being very poor. Like, judging by the power plants, no, it's this is a trading problem. Um, I've seen this before, which is why I've got some sector traders. There's a few sectors that the AI ships just don't seem to be doing the jobs that well, which is why I have a sector trader in some sectors. Um, Not this one by the look of it. Yeah, um, yeah. Right. So yeah, so we're done for sure. So yeah, I think so. And Emperor Mines is now complaining, but these are minor things. Sectors like that, it doesn't affect the final goal. All right then. Thanks for watching.